Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the you in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us on our other shows every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time on the Friday Fix, throughout the week on Plays and Parlays and Civil Discourse with Wes and Philly Steve.
Steve gonna be mad about that.
My bad. Steve from Philly. I like that name. I think it's pretty dope.
You stupid,
it should be like Steve from Philly. People like, I like Steve from Philly. I like Steve from Philly. I think it's dope.
Hey, man. So it's been another hell of a day in the news today. Some stuff we don't even have time to catch up and touch on. I just want to throw it out there real quick.
Yeah.
As far as I know, Elon Musk came out and basically said that this bill is horrible. This is the worst abomination. I couldn't hold it any longer. And I'm thinking, you're just saying this to try to get everybody, you know what I'm saying, stop being mad at you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't fucking with you. I mean, excuse my language. We ain't messing with you no more, brother.
We ain't messing with
it's
you
a wrap, bro.
You cooked.
You know what I mean?
You cooked.
You did what you did.
And don't worry, every time that you post about Elon Musk, someone's going to track it, folks. Donald Trump's reported database move sparks alarm. Dystopian. President Donald Trump alleged plans on developing a database of America's private information, according to the New York Times. On Friday, the Times reported the White House had contracted Colorado-based data analytics and technology firm Palantir. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Palantir. Yes, co-founded by longtime Trump backer Peter Thiel, for assistance in compiling a database of personal information on American citizens. Citing unnamed government officials and Palantir's employees, the newspaper said that the company had been in talks with various government agencies regarding the project, including the Social Security Administration and Department of Education. When approached by Newsweek for comments on the report, White House spokesperson Taylor Rogers said, without explicitly confirming the report, President Trump signed an executive order to eliminate information silos and streamline data collection across all agencies to increase government efficiency and save hard-earned taxpayer dollars. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I first came across this article, I was not thinking of it because I'm not seeing what they're doing. What they're doing, they're going to collect all your data, everyone's data, social media, school data, your phone data, your TV data, health, everything, and put it into one file. So they have all these files on you, and they're going to run algorithms with AIs, and they can either find people that are going to be troublemakers in the future, people that are troublemakers now. You know what I'm saying? They can tell about your health. They can do a lot of stuff. This is basically extreme government overreach.
And look who they're doing it with. I mean, we got to remember who all these people are. You already got Elon Musk. I mean, yeah, he's pretending to go back and sleep on the couches in the manufacturing rooms in Tesla, whatever he got going on. But yeah, this is Peter Thiel, man. We talked about this dude already. This is the extremist right here. This dude comes from and has a Nazi-ish background from South Africa, just like Elon Musk. You know what I mean? His family was okay with apartheid. Elon Musk was, probably Peter Thiel. They're both from there. Now think about also, they both were part of the PayPal mafia when it all first came out as well too. Now think, I mean, what does Elon Musk have? He has SpaceX. He has, all the things. He's looking to put chips. I don't know if it's I can't remember the name of the company. He's looking to put chips inside of people's head. Now you're going to have your cohort here with all the information already. He's going to have all the information that, from every American. This is kind of getting scary. Who else is Peter Thiel's protege?
I don't know.
JD Vance.
Really?
He's the one who funded JD Vance. This is the guy who they talked about from the beginning, who funded JD Vance's rise through him making the book. All the jobs that JD Vance had, we talked about before. This was the guy. Remember when JD Vance got fired from all the jobs and he gets $100 million to start some type of a slush fund, pretty much for financial investments. This was the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is the guy who brought him to Trump after he talked all that junk about Trump. This is who brought him to Trump. It was Peter Thiel. People don't realize what's happening here. That's why when you said that, I looked over like, are you serious? Like,
well, I know what's happening. See, what they all did is they put all their differences aside for the greater of the Caucasian species. Basically,
that's what it boils down to. Right?
They're like, look, we don't care what we do. We're going to make sure that we survive at the end of the day, and nobody else does.
And they're like they're believe that they're holding the guard to that. It's like the Crusades of back in the day. Most people believe that they were doing this for the greater good of whatever they were doing it for. These people believe this for their race. This is why they're doing it. This is the guard right here. Whoever else comes after them will be the guard who looks at them and say, they did this to help us. Let's take this to the next level. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we really realize how big what's going on is.
And they're trying to act like, they need this Iron Dome, right? To keep enemies out. We're not getting attacked like that. That Iron Dome is going to be here to keep you inside. Because you're going to try to leave and flee, and they're not going to let you flee the continent. They're going to use you for stuff. I mean, I know all the people that voted for this. This is like the opposite of what they wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Collect all your data, get all your information. Everything. I mean, this is playing Big Brother, and at the same time, you got
Department of Education all the way up to Social Security.
What's the name of Elon Musk? What's the name of his satellite system?
Starlink. Starlink.
You know what I mean? Like, where are we going? He's making robots. This dude's got him. You know what I mean? Like,
he's making police robots. They got the Starlink. The Elon Musk has 3/4. He owns 3/4 of all satellites in the sky. 3/4 of all of them in the sky. They have Starlink. They're gonna have this whole database about you. They're gonna have an Iron Dome around the states. I mean, they're setting up, and then
these are foreigners too. At the same time, let's not forget these are so-called Americans. These are just like Bannon said. You're not a real American. They're not. Neither of them are. Neither of them two were born here. But he's going to give him all the information, all of our information. Like, this tells you who your president is.
And that's what's wrong with America these days. Is because there's people that aren't from here, that aren't from America, that are coming in here and having influence on what we're doing, and it's tearing us apart.
We need to talk about this more, man. This is like crazy when you really, I didn't realize that's who he's having do it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, like, we talk so much about pro-America this, pro-America that. None of y'all are. How can you be when this person's about to basically like dredge up all of our information, consolidate them?
America is the word they use to get people to cheer, like when Hulk Hogan rips open his shirt.
Yeah,
it's about white nationalism.
Absolutely,
and that's everywhere.
I call it. That's a pretty name for it. White nationalism.
Yeah,
that's a pretty name for it. That's what that is. I don't even like. There's no such thing in my book. There's no such thing as white. There's just not. You're European. That's what you are. It's fine for you to be that. That's okay. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's what this is. It's European nationalism. But bigger than that, it's just it's racism. It's like a purity of a race, or keeping your race alive, which I'm not. No one's mad about you doing that, but don't do it at everyone else's expense on everyone else's dime. That's what this is about.
Think about this. It's been on everybody else's expense and everybody else's dime.
Absolutely.
Then when it started to get away from that, it was like, wait a minute. Like I always say that in COVID. Like, a lot of people, they like to have that power over people. Think about when COVID hit, people were upset because they couldn't get haircuts. They couldn't go to restaurants. So they want to go to a restaurant and have someone serve them the food. Bring it to me like this, just like I like it. People like to have even if it's a minuscule piece of power over you, people like to have that.
Do you think that that's what going to a restaurant means? Because I used to think it means I didn't want to cook food at home. That's how I looked at it. I never looked at it like, hey, bring this to me, serve this to me. I'm very kind to people.
I'm a cook.
I'm very kind to people when they bring me food. I'm always like, thank you very much. I'm trying to be overly kind to a person who's serving me food at the same time, because I just didn't want to cook. That's just a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to do all this work.
I get upset because I go out to eat, right? And then I come home, then I'm hungry again. I mean, if I eat at home.
You're hungry all the time, though, ain't you, sometimes?
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you.
I am, though. Sorry, brother. I am. And they'll know all that inside this information because they about to gather everybody's information. And a lot of y'all ain't going to make it.
NAACP calls for emergency shutdown of Musk's supercomputer in Memphis. Local regulators should immediately stop Elon Musk's supercomputer project from operating in South Memphis because it's out of compliance with environmental rules, the NAACP wrote in a letter sent Thursday to Shelby County officials. The civil rights group addressed the request to Dr. Michelle Taylor, director of the Shelby County Health Department, and to the commissioners of Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. The health department is responsible for implementing federal air regulations in Shelby County, which encompasses Memphis. Being the world's richest man doesn't give you the right to pollute black communities and jeopardize the health of his residents, NAACP president and CEO Derek Johnson said in a statement to NBC News. We urge the health department to step in immediately. When contacted, a spokesperson for Memphis Light and Gas and Water said it had not received the NAACP's letter and could not comment on it. Neither the health department nor XAI immediately responded to the questions about the letter, which was also signed by the president of Tennessee and Memphis chapters of the NAACP. In a previous statement to NBC News, XAI said its operations comply with all applicable laws, that it works collaboratively with county and city officials, EPA personnel, and community leaders regarding all things that affect Memphis. XAI has come under scrutiny in recent months for operating methane gas turbines at its Memphis facility to meet the electricity needs of the supercomputer Colossus. The turbines emit pollutants, including nitrogen oxides and formaldehyde, according to their manufacturer. Environmental groups and the NAACP believe the turbines require permits under the Clean Air Act. The city's health department, the mayor, and the Chamber of Commerce have said permits were not required for the turbines' first year of use. XAI, which is now seeking a permit for 15 permanent turbines, said those would be equipped with pollution controls and only be used as backup once their other energy options are available.
Burn it down. They're not going to take it down. They're not going to stop it. They're actually going to pump up and do more. Look
Absolutely.
at it. They took all the freeways and cut them all through black neighborhoods. You can look anywhere you go through where the freeway is. You'll see that's why they have the east and the west. They cut them all through black neighborhoods, and they poured lead into your neighborhoods. They never fixed the water in Flint. You know what I'm saying? Mississippi has dirty water, and now they're doing this to you in Memphis. Burn the building down. They're not going to fix it.
We also got to look at the fact that the city's looking at it probably from a job standpoint. I'm wondering how many jobs this place is actually bringing into the city. And they're going to let this guy do this everywhere he wants to do it. Doesn't matter. This is the future. These type of plants are the future. Everyone's doing them right now. Now they're going to also start building nuclear power plants to power a lot of these things as well too. They're built now. I think Meta is I think either Meta or is it Microsoft is building one of the first ones right now, like one of the newer ones. We don't get a lot of nuclear power plants out here because there weren't a lot of permits granted for this, but they're ramping these up because people know that things can happen bad with a nuclear power plant near you. It's a negative thing. It's not a great thing. There's a lot of other ways to do it, but a lot of these plants are very high in pollution. They use a lot of water. They pollute the air. They pollute the water as well. It's a problem. These things are not like great for the environment. They're more like they're looking at it like it's almost like a call center, but for supercomputers, pretty much. So they can go ahead.
It's seeming like there's only like 33 people that work in there.
You understand? Because he probably doesn't need them.
He don't need them. It's all AI.
I mean, this is where we're heading right here. They can take your air quality, take your good water. You know what I mean? Basically, leave you with a polluted. It's like that movie Elysium, whatever that movie was. That's pretty much where we're headed right now as a society.
Actually, 320 new jobs.
I mean, it probably is not enough for what it brings to the table. Like as much water as these plants, people I don't even really realize fully the full magnitude of what is really going on with these things, because these are going to become massive outlets. They're going to become like how we have how they have Amazon, like plants and stuff. This is what these are like. You know how they build massive plants. This is exactly what these things are going to be popping up everywhere, man. All over the United States, sucking up all the clean water. You know what I mean? Messing up the air. It's going to be a problem, man.
And so, and they're not going to care. They've been killing black communities for years. And, Democrats never did anything to stop it because they could. You know what I'm saying? And Republicans.
I think Clean Air Act is a part of the way. I mean, you know why? Yeah, it's not because of Democrats, so let's not act like it is. It's not. We had the Green New Deal, everything that we can't blame that on Democrats. I know you like to do that. I know that's your spiel. You do that.
All this is caused by the Democratic Party.
Oh no, it's not.
Think about it.
No, it's not. Look,
the election, this last election was tampered with. They was in power when it was tampered with. They didn't even put up a finger to say nothing or do nothing. I mean,
people went out and voted for a person who they knew went against their country. I mean, what can you do about that?
The vote was suppressed.
There is nothing you can do.
Starlink was hooked up to voting machines in different areas. They didn't even try to investigate it. They just sat back and took it like little bitches.
Listen, man, at the end of the day, those people ran up in that building about 50,000 deep. You know what I mean? We saw them, bro. They did it. You know what I mean? And these guys are all about that life. It has nothing to do with that. It's the American people at this point in time. When you can turn out 77 million people to vote for a person like this, it's us that's the problem. It's not the Democrats. They did everything they could do. I'm not trying to say, there's some subjects I don't agree with when it comes to Democrats at all. But when it comes to trying to help the people, I'm looking at their bills. what they're passing, what they're doing.
It's like this, black folks got tired of the Democrats coming over talking about it's a fight for you, vote for your lives. You'd be like, well, we do it every time, but you don't do nothing for us.
I don't know. I think that at some point in time, it has to get to a point to where the conditions are set. You set the proper conditions and you grow from there. That's all you can do. You got to keep on pushing. This did not get broken in a day. It's not going to get fixed in 40, 30, 40 years. It ain't going to happen. If you really start looking at when we started getting any kind of wiggle room power, it was probably in the 1960s or so. When we were able to say, you know what, give us our civil rights. All right, cool. Now let's get something else about 10, 15 years later after that. All right, cool. Let's get something else about 20, 30 years after that. Then we got a president, I mean, other little things. Then we got a vice president. It's wiggle room, man.
Now we have full-blown white supremacy in America.
Absolutely. That we do.
Burn it down. 3 young sisters were found dead in Washington. Now police are searching for the father turned suspect. 3 young sisters are dead and police are searching for their father, who authorities in Washington say is the killer. On Friday, the mother of the 3 girls told authorities that her daughters had not returned after a planned visitation with their father, Travis Decker, 32, according to a press release from the Wenatchee Police Department. After days of searching on Monday, police found the girls dead near the father's pickup truck that was parked near the Rock Island campgrounds in Chelan County, over an hour's drive northwest of Wenatchee, Washington. Police say Decker, a former military member with extensive training, was nowhere to be found. He is now wanted for the counts of first degree, he's wanted for 3 counts of first degree kidnapping and first degree murder. We want to express our sincerest and deepest heartfelt condolences to the family at this time, Wenatchee police said. During the search for the girls, police said on Facebook that Decker is homeless and living in his vehicle or at various hotels and motels or at campgrounds in the area. Jeez. His visitation with the girls was part of a parenting plan, but he has since gone outside of the parameters of which is not normal and cause for the alarm. He has since gone outside the parameters of it, which is not normal, and it was cause for alarm, authorities said. The girl's mother, Whitney Decker, had told Cairo 7 that there were no previous issues with the visitations. She told ABC News amid the search, "This is an unimaginable situation, and I'm pleading for everyone to look out for him."
Something's wrong with him mentally. There's a mental issue with him. I'm wondering what it is and who knew about it and what kind of mental issue he had. This is why sometimes it's messed up to say it. This is why some people don't get parental visitation rights. This type of stuff, but you can't guess it. You can't pick it out the air. But a lot of times, it's messed up to say it, but military members, sometimes they have mental issues. When you don't have a home, it's even worse, because I know people who probably don't have homes, but still want to see their kids, or trying to put it together, but still want to see their kids. But there's stuff like this that happens that makes me like, man.
First of all, let me take off my glasses. I want to say, this is a tragedy, and I feel for the mother. It's unimaginable to lose a child. But, also, I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. And as a man who's been through the family court system and seen some stuff, there was actually a guy here in Washington, I believe. He was married to a woman. They were arguing. She wanted to split. She's like, I'm going to take the kids. You'll never see them again. They try to reconcile. They went camping. They both went camping, and he was the only one that came back. They never found her body. They ended up taking the kids from him, and then he had a supervised visitation. And the kids I don't know if you remember the story. The kids got out the car and they ran into the house like, "Hey, Dad." And the social worker was taking too long. She just, was not thinking nothing crazy. Anyways, the kids run in the house. Dad closes the door. Social worker goes up there. She's like knocking on the door. I smell gasoline. Dad set the house on fire, killed both the kids and him in Washington. I've seen, it's hard being a parent off tops. And then when you split up, and like I'm saying, I don't know the ins and outs of their relationships. But if this man's living in a truck, he's fell on hard times. It's a sad situation. The mom said there've never been any issues, but we don't know their conversations. We don't know what's going on. It could be from the military. It could be a lot of variables. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, 3 innocent children died. Wow. And I just say this to all parents. You know what I'm saying? If the only advice I can give to you about any of this stuff is love your children more than you hate the person you made them with. Because at the end of the day, if you didn't have that person, you wouldn't have that little angel. And a lot of people, you take your kids and you use them as weapons against other parents. And you decide your kid doesn't get to have that love over there from this person because you're feeling some type of way, or they don't get to have the love from this side of the family because you don't like this certain kind of thing because of your ego. Am I saying this is that situation? No, I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. But at the end of the day, co-parenting in a village is what it takes to raise a family.
Yeah, it's just it's super sad, man, to even think about. I'm over here kind of in a daze, man, thinking about Like, how could you hurt your kid? You know what I mean? Like, how could you unalive your own child? Like, don't get me wrong. Everyone has issues with their kid when they get older. The kids start getting, it's just, you go through stuff with your kid. It's part of life. But man, you know what I mean? Like, what makes you come to this point to where you're like, this is what this is? Things change, man. Like, okay, maybe the kids weren't even wanting to be with you at that time. They were probably saying, who knows? They might have said some horrible things to you, but they're kids. Kids do that. That's what happens. But you got to be a parent who's like, you know what? This is who I am, and this is how I'm going to be, no matter what. Over and over again. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Hopefully, when they get older, they'll figure out that's, you know, these things I did. Every kid does the wrong thing. I'm sure you did too, man. That's horrible that you did that to your kids, man. You're like, you're a POS to me, man. Period. For that. For the rest of your life, you could never be anything different. Once you're locked up and they catch you, unless you did off yourself, like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone probably, unless you did that to yourself, when they catch you and they lock you up, man, I hope people treat you like you're supposed to be treated for the rest of your life.
He didn't kill the kids for his benefit. He killed those kids to punish her. I
mean, and that's, at the end of the day, man, like, that's an ugly thing to do, man. You took 3 lives from this earth, man, who had nothing but life ahead of them because you were angry with yourself. You were not mad at her. You were angry with her. You were mad because you don't have anywhere to live, because you're messed up, because you're going through things. That's what happens with everybody. This is personal experience when it comes to everything. You're not mad at this person. You're actually angry with yourself. And when you figure that out, you're going to be messed up for the rest of your life thinking about what you did.
I wonder what caused him to. I mean, there's more stuff comes out.
It doesn't matter, man. There's nothing. I know what you mean. I want to know the cause of it too.
No, I want to know why he was homeless. You know what I'm saying? Think about check it out, bro. If she had 1 kid with him, that's understandable. They got 3 kids. That's a dedicated family right there.
So think about it. He probably was in the military at that time. A lot of times guys get out the military sometimes and it doesn't work out that way for them because military is regimented. You're regimented and this is what you have going on. Now go get a regular job now. And it's not that way because you can show up. You know what I mean? There's certain things they'll let you get away with in the military. They're not letting you get away with that regular jobs. You have to actually have skills or whatever else to get away with a regular job. I'm not sure what he was in the military, but he might not have been able to function outside of that. And so he's living at parks and in his truck. If you're a worker, you're going to go work and figure something out.
Yeah, unless something happened to him overseas. Some things you can't get over, bro. That's why a lot of, I've never been to battle like that. You know what I'm saying?
I've never left him. Anything could have happened, but mentally you have to be strong enough to be like, you know what? That's your kid, man. Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know the ins and outs. I mean, he probably offed himself because he's probably calmed down and figured out what he did. You know what I'm saying? But he probably did that to hurt her.
He should have did himself right there if that's what he was going to do.
One thing about it, your daughter's your first love. That's your
kid in general. Doesn't matter if it's boy, girl, whatever, man. Something's wrong with you mentally. For you to ever think something like that, to do something like that to your kid, man, like to me, man, I don't know what kind of a person you are. I don't know, but anyway, Tulsa's new black mayor proposes $100 million trust to repair impact of 1921 race massacre. Tulsa's new mayor on Sunday proposed $100 million private trust as part of reparations plan to give descendants of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre scholarships and housing help in a city-backed bid to make amends for one of the worst racial attacks in U.S. history. The plan by Mayor Monroe Nichols, the first black mayor of Oklahoma's second largest city, would not provide direct cash payments to descendants or last 2 centenarian survivors of the attack that killed as many as 300 black people. He made the announcement at the Greenwood Cultural Center, located in once thriving district of North Tulsa that was destroyed by a white mob. Nichols said he does not use the term reparations, which he calls politically charged, characterizing his sweeping plan instead as road to repair. For 104 years, the Tulsa Race Massacre has been a stain on our city's history, Nichols said Sunday after receiving a standing ovation from several hundred people. The massacre was hidden from history books only to be followed by the intentional acts of redlining, a highway built to choke off economic vitality and the perpetual underinvestment of local, state, and federal governments. Now it's time to take the next big step to restore. Nichols said the proposal wouldn't require city council approval, although the council would need to authorize the transfer of any city property to the trust, something he said was highly likely. The private charitable trust will be created with a goal to secure 105 million in assets, with most of the funding either secured or committed by June 1st, 2026. Although details would be developed over the next year by an executive director and a board of managers, the plan calls for the bulk of the funding, 60 million, to go toward improving buildings and revitalizing the city's north side. The Greenwood district at its height was a center of commerce, Nichols said in a telephone interview. So what we lost was not just something from North Tulsa or the black community. It actually robbed Tulsa of an economic future that would have rivaled anywhere else in the world. Nichols' proposal follows an executive order he signed earlier this year recognizing June 1st as Tulsa Race Massacre Observance Day, an official city holiday. The event Sunday in Greenwood District included a picnic for families, worship services, and an evening candlelight vigil.
That's why I tell people, get especially black folks, get your guns, get your ammo. And, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, let me tell you a little crazy fact here. Tulsa, Oklahoma was the first time America had ever dropped bombs on anybody. The first time. They did it because they could. They were trying to get into the city, and the people of Tulsa were fighting. They held them off. They were just coming in there to kill them. That's all they were doing. Coming in to kill all the black folks. They're holding them off, and the people couldn't get in there. So what they did, the sheriff from the neighboring town came with a plane, and he lit dynamite and dropped it on the buildings. It was the first time America had ever dropped bombs anywhere, and they did it on their own civilians. But Tulsa, Oklahoma is a bustling city. Hopefully this works out for them. There's only like maybe one or two survivors still from the Tulsa, from the massacre. They watched it happen. You know what I'm saying? And people always say, black folks haven't done this, haven't done that. No, we've done plenty. You have to realize when we came out of slavery, we knew how to do all the jobs. We knew how to build everything. You know what I'm saying? We knew how to do all that stuff because we were the free labor. So we came out, we built cities, we built our own jobs. And what happened? People got jealous and they came and burned it down and stole it from us. So you can't say that we haven't had anything. No, we've had plenty of stuff. Just like you see, and we reported earlier what they're doing in Memphis. They're sending toxic gas into the black community to kill them off.
They made it so that we couldn't own banks for a long time. Blacks couldn't own banks at all, but we owned banks in our communities, though. We had them in these communities. We had movie theaters. There's bus line, transit systems, complete everything owned by us. Airports in this community owned by us. Not just this community, several others across the nation. It was very, very bustling cities. So, this is something that what he's saying, it makes a lot of sense. What he's saying is not about reparations. He said just restore. It's just a fact. This is what it is. This is what should be done across America. It's just people look back and they say, well, you go work for what you got. Really, you guys have already been given so much. It's ridiculous. And you're still not that much further ahead than us. You are economically overall because you can see it by the sheer volume of your billionaires and the wealthier people who are part of your culture, who is the European culture. But at the end of the day, we've been able to climb our way out of holes that you were never put into, that you would never have to worry about or realize ever in your life. And this is a very, very important thing that he's doing. I'm very happy and proud that he's doing something to fix this situation down here.
Because it's not, as you said, what it says, it's not reparations, it's restoring. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this is Uncommon Courtesy. Until next time.